Story time. So there's this one road in my town that everyone knows not to speed on because half the time there's usually a cop down at the bottom of the hill. Well, I live right off of this street and drive it every single day. Well, back in August when I was moving, I wasn't paying attention to how fast I was going, didn't see the cop at the bottom of the hill, and ended up getting pulled over. You know, the usual happened. He came up to the window and was like, "Ma'am, do you know why I pulled you over?" And I was like, yes I do, because I'm a speed racer who doesn't know how to slow their ass down. He ends up letting me off with a warning, and I go on my merry little way. Well, just now I was driving home from school, not paying attention to how fast I was going, and not paying attention to see if there was a cop at the bottom of the hill. My fast ass was going 60. So the same thing happens, takes my license and my registration. He comes back to the window and informs me he's the one that pulled me over back in August. He ends up giving me a warning and tells me not to go 60 in a 40 ever again. There's no moral to the story besides I need to be aware and slow my ass down.
Get this. So for a couple of years now, I have been working seasonally retail. Stay with me. So during the Christmas season, this guy comes in. And I was like, "Hello, sir. Welcome in. Is there anything I could help you with today?" And he goes, "Can I have your number?" And into that, I was like, and he was like, "Oh, you're married." And I was like, "No, sir. Actually, I'm engaged." I'm not engaged. I wear this ring out so that if somebody hits on me, I just can be nice and just be like, "Sorry. I know it's terrible. Sorry, whatever. Moving on." So he was like, "Oh, it's too bad you're engaged because I'd love to take you out." And I was like, "Yeah, anyway, how can I help you?" And this man goes, "I'm actually looking for a necklace for my girlfriend." His girlfriend. Then he asks where the $50 and under section is. I was working at a jewelry store. A nice jewelry store. I said, "Unfortunately, there's only a few items in that price range." Showed it to him. He said, "Thanks," winks at me, and walks out the door. Somebody...
Story time. I did an agility test for law enforcement, right? There's like 50 people there waiting to do the course, and the instructor there was like, "All your names are put in random order. We're gonna call you up so you can do the course individually." And I'm like, God damn it, I'm gonna wait for 50 fucking people before I go. The instructor looked at his board and was like, "First person, Taylor Cernoli." And I was like... But anyways, I was running through the course, and by the time I got to the dummy drag, when I tried to lift the dummy up, my fingernail fucking bent. Oh, that shit hurt so goddamn bad. But anyways, I finished the test. I went to go pick up my bag near the group of people there, and one of the fuckers, he was pretty big, was like, "So you had trouble picking up that dummy?" And I was like, "Yeah, I hurt my finger." And I didn't even realize that I was flipping him off. And everyone around me was like, and I just played it off like, "Good luck, baby."
Story time. So on New Year's, my friend and I went to a house party, and she ends up leaving to go to the bathroom. But when she comes out like 3 to 5 minutes later, she's just like, "Guys, help!" So like I look at her, I'm like, "What's wrong?" And she's like, "Shh, I broke the toilet." I follow her to the bathroom. The toilet bowl is filled to the rim with water, and there's just 3 pieces of toilet paper just chilling on top. And I'm like, "What did you do?" She starts freaking out, and she's, "The people before me didn't flush. I thought it was okay to flush, but it wasn't okay." So one of our other friends comes in, hears the story, and she's like, "Okay, hold on, I'm gonna go get the house owner." And my friend starts freaking out, being like, "No, don't tell him, he's gonna kill me." Our friend gets him anyway, and he comes in unbuttoning his shirt, he's just like, "Did someone call a plumber?" And then he sees the toilet, and he's just like, "What did you do?" So she tries to explain it to him, and he's like, "Okay, shut up." And then he fixes the toilet. But she was like still freaking out, like almost crying.
So a thing just happened. Mom and I got some pizza from a pizza place that makes pizza, and it was busy in there, so she placed the order and left, and she placed the order under Christina. Christina is my mom's name. So she's like, "There's this shop that I want to check out. I'm leaving you in charge of picking up the pizza." So I'm like, "Okay, I'll pick up the pizza." So this individual behind the counter calls out for Christina, and I pick up the pizza, as one does. And they hand me the pizza, and they're like, "What's your preferred name?" And I'm like, "Jake." And they're like, "Oh, okay, I'm so sorry to do that to you. This individual thinks that I am the Christina, and I am a transgender individual whose mother dead named them at the pizza place." So they like, in that sort of voice, go like, "Have a good day, Jake." And I am mortified beyond belief by this encounter.
So I have this neighbor who I've never spoken one word to at all. Every time I drive by in my car, or when I had only a bicycle, I would ride by, we would just wave towards each other. That's it. That was our whole communication. And today I decided to go get some coffee from the gas station and everything, and I drive by and I see his garage doors open, we wave at each other, and I go get my cup of coffee, and then I also get him a cup of coffee so I can finally meet this guy who I've just been waving to for the past year and a half. I pull into his driveway, and this older gentleman, this old man, got up, smile on his face, and I gave him a cup of coffee, and his daughter walks out, and she tells me that he actually has autism, and his favorite part of the day is when I go to work or I come home from work and we wave at each other. That is his favorite part of the day. That hit me right in the heart. That made me feel so good. So just by a simple act of waving, I made somebody's day. Be kind to one another.
Story time. So this morning, my son gets to take a board game with him to school, right? And so he goes and he looks in the closet, he picks out Jumanji, because we have the board game Jumanji. He goes and puts it in his backpack and he goes and gets ready for school. Well, I go and grab my phone and I pull up a 15-minute long sound effect that sounds like this. And I turn it down so that it's just quieter than regular conversation level, and I put it underneath a kitchen chair. He comes back in and takes his backpack. He can't hear it because, the dogs are in there walking around and stuff, and my wife is in there, and he sets it down in the chair right next to where I put that sound effect. And after a few minutes, he's like, I don't think that's the fridge, because he thought that it was the fridge making that sound, right? So then he bends down and he's listening at his backpack, and I was like, wait a minute, didn't you put Jumanji in his backpack? The look on his face, and then he starts pulling it out and opens it up and looks, and he's like, it's not coming from here. And so I grab the phone and pull it out, and he's like, Dad! Thought you'd enjoy.
One day, my cousin made a Tinder, and we were having a family barbecue, so he came over. He was like, oh my god, Sam, this really hot girl just matched with me. And then he shows me. And then I see the profile, and it's literally pictures of Madison beer. But the name on the profile was Kalani. I was like, bro, I don't know who you think you're fucking texting, but it's not Madison beer. You're texting someone's fucking auntie right now. Whole ass auntie. He's like, guess we're about to find out. I was like, no, what the no? He's like, yeah, I just gave her the Addy. She's about to pull up. We're gonna meet. It's all cool, Sam. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me, he said. Okay. I trusted him. So I see a car pull up, and he's like, oh my god, I think it's her. I was like, oh shit, what if I do meet Madison beer? The door freaking opens. And this old lady pops up. I look at my cousin, and I'm like, go hug her. Go. He was so excited. It's Kalani, the one and only. Come on.